are you? Yes, we're back. We're back for this off night, and it's got a lot of stuff going on. We got some people that we're going to be discussing about major events. We always have something to talk about with Trump's in office. So there we go. A lot of good stuff going on, and I think we should get to our famous MC and host, Mr. Mark Sweetman.
There we go. All right.
All right.
You know what? We have the theme music that is fee free, so we might as well use it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let me get Andy back in here. There we go. All right. Hello, my friend.
Hello, how are you doing today? Things good?
Nothing bad happened.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Did you do any thanks? What's the Irish holiday we're celebrating?
St. Patrick's Day. I did not.
Got it.
Although my name is Irish, I guess I should have. We weren't. The only thing that my dad passed on to me of my Irishness was he was an alcoholic. So that's really the only thing that was really Irish about him. But
now you're stereotyping, my friend. That's not the truth.
You're allowed to stereotype yourself. You're
okay.
You want me to bring? You want me to bring the Jew out here? You know that?
Oh well, we're getting our one. Wait, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Since last week, now we did have some court activity, and I think our whole fiasco is over with. I'll let Susan talk about that. Every time I try to talk about something, she always comes on and corrects me. So,
well, that's the job. That's the job of a legal person to correct your misconceptions.
You know what? And when she's working at home, I got to be careful how I say this. When she's working at home, I have to sometimes excuse myself because there are certain things that I am not allowed to be privy to.
Wow. So you're like in the CIA at home too, huh?
Yeah. No, it's not like that. but and then there's other things that she'll just say, "All right, shut up. I gotta be on the phone right now. Just please be still, and your presence is not known." You know.
There we go.
But anyway, so I'll let her talk about if she wants to. If not, I mean, I'll leave that up to her. I don't.
Okay.
Pretty much the guys in my Bible study are the only ones I really talk to about.
Well, that's interesting.
Well, you know, when they say, "Is there anything you want us to pray for?" I'm thinking, yeah, we're going through a court trial. It's pretty trying. Yeah. So go for it. Anyway, but other than that, the everything seems to be in order in the house. None of our kids are federal workers, so they all still have their jobs.
That's a plus and a minus, you know.
And we'll see, because I'm not, most of the federal workers in Michigan are FBI courts, federal courts downtown.
Yeah.
And so, my kids work in restaurants and food service, and so they're all of their customers are people that work out in this area, which is manufacturing and financial services and stuff like that. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, it'll go around somehow. It goes around. I don't know.
Well, yeah. It doesn't take much of a blip in the economy to get things, because already people are not buying things because they're afraid they won't be able to buy things, whether they can or not. And that consumer confidence is a marker that they use when they're trying to figure out how to manipulate the economy.
Yeah, that's always a tough thing. Let's just go ahead.
Let's get my wife out here. I know she likes to get her poem out and get on her way and do other things. So here she is, Susan Sweetman, our poetess. Oh,
Hi.
Hi.
I'm an open book. I'm not trying to hide anything. But when I am at work and I have to take a work call or a meeting, yes, you need to shut up. It's just, I like the hybrid thing, half the time in the office, half the time home.
Well, and
It's a nice thing till somebody ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, and you have the experience too, where you can, especially since you've wanted to retire for the last 2 years and they won't let you. You can always you always get to say, well, I guess I don't have to come to work anymore. I guess you'll have to fire me.
Yeah, somehow the union rules are written one way, and the union agrees with me, but the employer interprets it differently. So that's interesting. But let's not talk about work. Let's also not talk about the legal actions going on as we're victims. We do have one more sentencing. His sentencing's coming up next month. So let's get through that. And I can get all the transcripts.
Well, you said more than I said about it. You said more about it than I said about it.
Yeah, so. And then we're going to be, and then we'll be able to talk about it and write our book.
Our book. Yes.
My daughter is 18, and this weekend she was, I'm so bored. And I'm thinking, I would love a boring weekend.
Yes.
There's so much drama.
Yes.
Somebody tried to take my life twice. It's like, enough drama. I want a boring weekend. I would look forward to that so much.
Hail to ye, boredom.
Yes. Well, I want to be lonely and bored. Please bring it on.
Well, what was that phrase that said, I hope you have a was it an exciting life or something like that? And it's a Chinese curse or something like that?
Yes. Yes. May you have an exciting life. No.
I was Mark's grandmother. I used to go and help her run her vacuum for her, and then I'd take her grocery shopping once a week, and she was having trouble, and so I pulled up to the entry to this grocery market in her neighborhood and stopped to let her out, and the guy behind me just got so mad, honking his horn, and I'm like, may you never grow old.
Oh, there's a curse. How about that?
It's like, fine. He just didn't like that, it was going to take another 30 seconds for me to move the car. And, so.
Yeah, you just experienced my entire day every 5 seconds. It's like I have no idea. I have no idea why people are honking at me. I have no idea. It's like I'm going the speed limit.
I'm driving and I'm helping grandma out of the vehicle. So like, take a chill pill or go around me.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, I volunteered. I did my internship as a paralegal and volunteered in elder law. And the senior citizens are some of the best segment of our society. If I could pick and choose what area I would get a job in, it would have been elder law. Love that area. So anyway, do you want your poem?
Sure.
Because I got
I enjoy
hearing your things to do.
I enjoy hearing your tales even without the poem. But go ahead. I know you always want to get back to your other stuff that's more important than our stupid little show.
Hey, I'm wearing my 2019 marathon shirt that the TCF Center gave me. Everybody still calls it Cobo Hall, whatever name you give it.
Yeah, it's the hall. It's the hall formerly known as Cobo.
Yes. Well, anyway, Cobo is easy to remember,
Albert Cobo was a racist, though. So
but the hall is associated with the name, and not really him anymore. So
Lewis Cass was also a slave owner. So what are we going to do?
I don't know. Yeah.
And Detroit was French. Detroit, the Straits.
Oh, this coming Sunday is Marche du Nain Rouge. You guys familiar with that?
No.
It's the March du Nain Rouge is a. It's only been around since 2010, but it was a parade that was developed to. I don't know if you call it honoring. It's to scare away the red dwarf who is Nain Rouge, and the old tale is, the mythology is that this little red dwarf with sharp teeth and very fiery eyes always shows up just before something disastrous happens in Detroit.
Okay. So have you done your poem yet?
Yeah.
Have you done your poem yet?
No, she hasn't done the poem yet. Let's do it.
Why don't you do your poem?
right,
Thanks for that history, Mark.
All right, here we are.
Go ahead.
Poem for the off night. Trump deported hundreds of immigrants on Saturday. At the same time, the judge ordered that they all stay. Trump is violating court orders, and it's a bit much. Sent immigrants to El Salvador, but why such a rush? Trump says they are gang or not naturalized or lawful permanent. Yet reasons why Muhammad Khalil was arrested remain indeterminate. It's the 1798 Alien Enemies Act, but Mr. Orange Clown is lacking intact. So I'm wishing you all a happy St. Patrick's Day. Glad you're here and hope you can stay in the US of A. And that's your poem.
Oh,
cool.
No, I took her out. I'm sorry about that. There, now she's back. I hit the wrong button. I took her off for a second there.
Good poem. Good poem. Like it.
Thank you.
That was a good poem. All right,
Bring
let's get
Sam out.
I'm going to bring him out.
Well, I want to say hi because I got to go here in a minute.
All right. Well, I got both Sam and Virginia are here waiting to get on. So
okay.
Virginia.
Well, you'll see what I mean when he gets on here.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to. All right. First, Sam. There's Sam.
Hi, Sam.
And Sam, as we can see now, he was out of the hospital on Thursday, and now he's back. He'll tell that story. And here is here's Jason, who goes by Virginia on his name tag here.
Hi guys.
Virginia.
Hey.
Virginia Steppenwolf. Yeah, that'd be me.
Hi, Jason, Virginia.
I'm trying to position my head so it looks like the top of a taxi beacon.
There you go. Virginia. Okay.
Call her Jenny.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with West Virginia, right?
No. Yeah. Who's afraid of Virginia Steppenwolf? That'd be me.
There we go.
There you go. So nice poem, Susan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice poem. Yes.
All right.
As always.
Yeah, that is nice.
Well, Trump gives a lot of material for poems, so
yeah.
most of it around his pants.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
he is working overtime.
This is now. If you want some good Trump news, he did win his. I think like for the 12th year in a row, he won his club championship, golf championship.
wow.
Well, you know the writer for Sports Illustrated, Rick O'Reilly, said that he played golf with Trump. He said he's never met anyone who cheats as much as him.
Why am I not surprised?
Oh, now wait a minute. He shouldn't say Trump cheats because that would be wrong.
It's never wrong to speak the truth. In fact, defamation and slander can be defended with the truth.
Yep, it's an affirmative defense.
That's right. Hey,
that's right.
Good to see y'all. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to go drink.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Have a good one.
Go chase a snake.
Bye.
Aaron
go Brawless. There we go.
Or Aaron go Brawless. You know who first said that?
No.
I heard it.
Adrian Barbeau.
No, the first person I ever saw that was co-hosting or substitute hosting for Carson. It was McLean Stevenson. He was he was substitute hosting for Johnny Carson on St. Patrick's Day.
Did you know that he said he never regretted leaving MASH?
What's that?
He said he never regretted leaving MASH.
He never regretted it?
because he got 3 sitcoms, even though one only went to pilot. He made more money from those sitcoms than he did from all the time on MASH.
Oh, wow.
Well, MASH was around back when they weren't paying the stars that much. And that was an ensemble cast, so it was really hard to, except for Alan Alda, there really wasn't a star in that show.
Well, you've heard the story about how Larry Hagman, back during his Les Enfants Terribles days on I Dream of Jeannie, went in and demanded they double his salary to like $750 a week. And they said, "Okay, Larry."
Yeah, $750.
Yeah, it was like 700. Yeah, he demanded to be paid like 750, and they're like, "Okay, Larry, I guess. Here you go. Now, please quit urinating on the set like you did last week."
You know what he was great in? Do you know what he was really great in? Harry and Tonto.
Say, I didn't see him in that.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Well,
Larry Hagman was in Harry and Tonto?
He played Art Carney's son.
Wow.
And he was also terrific in Primary Colors.
Primary Colors. I was about to say that. Yeah. And again, another one, Failsafe, where he plays the interpreter, and he's playing up against Henry Fonda.
Henry Fonda, and Walter Matthau was in there.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, his scenes are all just him and Henry Fonda.
Yeah,
in the conference room, and again, and his particular role is to play it very down, very internal, and he does a great job of that. Again, because you're up against Henry Fonda, and I don't know, I would be intimidated. Sam wouldn't be, because he'd just pull out his wang and show it to him. But
not if he's working for GF.
Yeah, stands for Go Away Fonda. There we go.
Sam wouldn't be intimidated at all, but I would be. So there you go. Sam, how you doing, man? What's up? What's going on?
Well, I left the rehab on Thursday, and I'm back on Monday. So I'm hoping that they let me back in, because I have to go back in.
Okay. Don't you have to
I'm 2 weeks.
Now for Medicare, don't you have to be out like a week or 10 days before you can go back, or how does that work out for Medicare?
Well, they'll take care of me.
Okay.
But I want to get permission to go back into that specific rehab center.
Oh, I see.
There's others I could go to.
There you go.
There's others I could go to, but that's the one I want to go to.
I hope they take care of you.
Yeah, they're very good there.
And
so I talked to the guy who, the social worker is the person who takes care of all that. And when I ask people, do you think he'll let me back in? It's an insurance thing. It's strictly an insurance thing. In other words, I can go back in, and Medicare will pay for anyone I go to. But I want to go back to that one specifically. But I said, it's only gone like 38 hours.
Right.
So, so I talked to my doctor, Dr. Rappaport, and he said, I don't see a problem with that, but they say that, but they don't know.
Yeah, because the doctors aren't the ones that make those decisions.
No, it's the social worker.
Yeah, it's a lot of all right, when is the bed going to be available type of talk,
Well, that's part. But see, here's the thing about where I am now. When I was at rehab, it was me and another guy. I'm here with 4 people. One of whom is a wife abusing asshole who I'm going to choke to death if he doesn't shut the fuck up. You hear me? Yes, I was talking to him.
Yeah.
That
Sam?
guy. That guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm guessing that he's bedridden.
The nurse just said to me, "Are you okay?"
Now you are. now that that's out.
I got 2 words for him. One word: sedation.
Yeah. Well, if you want, Sam, I'll offer to come out there and get a job as a night nurse, and there'll be 1 or 2 openings a week, maybe more.
I just want him pistol whipped.
Oh God.
Those
the little things.
And they're coming back too. We will pistol whipping will be coming back. I'm pretty
sure. He grabs female nurses in the wrong places.
Oh dear.
He uses the most scatological terms you can think of.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
And how old is this guy?
19. No, I don't know. He's frisky.
It's
Well, I just will tell you when I was going through Jackson Prison through the bubble as they call it, we behaved ourselves a little bit better than that. So of course we could also be thrown off the tier at any moment and end up splattered.
I hear the nurses saying things like, "Don't do that, stop that." There's no excuse for that. There's not. So what I just did was that was over yelling on my part. But
There
you
you
may
go.
have noticed you don't hear him anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right.
And the nurse came over and said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine, but someone has to kill him."
Well, at this point you could do it and plead a number of defenses and get away with it, Sam. Pretty much just, walk out of there with a little more than a slap on the wrist.
Self-defense.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he looks like. Okay,
Oh,
that's
dear.
how estranged I am from him.
Oh, so you could kill one of the wrong four.
I just want one of the male attendants here, who for the most part are big fellas, just to
Yeah.
like punch him right in the nose.
I don't know, dude. Nowadays, I mean, Andy, you and I both know what it was like to work with what we call the green card and gold card crowd. You remember, and they can push your buttons. They know what they're doing. They can push your buttons, and
Oh yeah, but I mean they're seniors.
yeah.
They've been around the block. They've known what So it's fun.
Well, we're seniors now. So.
And if they don't show up where they're supposed to, and then you have to say things like, I don't know, maybe they're buried in a field somewhere. Not that I know anything about that, but and now everything's GPS, so they'd know where you've been. And
when you're pulling away just as they're coming out after waiting for 20 minutes, it's like
yes, exactly. And then
they say he drove away. He drove away. Anyway,
I lost a friend today.
No,
not only
did you ever have one of the old ladies grab your arm and try and stick it between their legs?
As I was saying, Andy, I lost a friend today. Andy, sensus interruptus.
Sorry. If I didn't interrupt, you wouldn't hear me at all. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Well, that's the prayer I keep in my heart.
I know.
Anyway.
I have another prayer for you.
Here he goes again. Right, it's like living with Larry Storch.
It's F Troop all over again. There we go. All right. You
Forrest
go on with your story.
I was going to mention Forrest Tucker, but that would give Jason about another 10 minutes of material.
Yes.
Hey, you don't talk about the big man, around me. I got to tell you.
They did a thing in Spy Magazine. They listed 8 guys who all share something in common with Forrest Tucker.
Yeah,
and it wasn't their desire to act in dinner theater.
No. Could play jump rope with him though.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
James Woods.
James Woods.
Yep.
I guess I shouldn't be shocked.
Maybe that's why he can't find work.
But Paul Williams.
Not with that.
Who knew? I mean.
Who, Jason?
What's her name was able to glue it to his.
I was gonna say Paul Williams. You remember the
Hervé Villachez.
Yeah, the short little guy who ran around with Pat McCormick. I know
that would be him, and wrote an amazing array of hit songs, but as performed by other people. And
he won an Oscar for Evergreen.
Yeah.
And he was like David Bowie's favorite composer. So
yeah, he
wrote. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true.
He wrote some good music.
Yeah, Bowie. But when Bowie got to LA, like in '72, he's like, first guy he wanted to meet was Paul Williams.
Do you know who wrote
Paul Williams
I Write the Songs?
What that wasn't Manilow didn't write that?
Bruce Johnston of the Beach Boys.
No, I thought it was Brian Wilson, but yeah.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah,
well, a lot of these guys, like Madonna and Janet Jackson, somebody will write a song and they'll submit it to them.
Right.
And then they'll say, I'll sing this, but I want half the royalties.
I want writer's credit. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
My favorite Paul Williams song, one of my favorite lines in all of pop music, one of my favorite lyrics, the line, "What I've got, they used to call the blues. I just
Yes.
think that is such a great line.
Was that from Rainy Days and Mondays?
Yes, yes.
God, I'd forgotten how good what a really good songwriter he was.
He's still around. He's still around. I think he's still around.
I think he is. Pat
I didn't
McCormick
realize
sadly
that he was anorexic until he started singing "Rainy Days and Chocolate Sundays." Always gave me.
Yeah. You know, and part of Forrest Tucker is still around too. It's floating in a. Well, no, hold on. That's a family show. We'll keep it here.
I think that's at the new art gallery in D.C., the Dillon here.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Forrest Tucker was one of the few guys who could go head to head with Milton Berle. You know, and
that famous joke, right?
Yeah. How much we can pull out and
show enough to win.
To win, right? Exactly. Yeah. You know.
By the way, they asked
Paul Williams. Paul Williams is still alive. He turns 85 this year.
Ah,
God bless him.
There you go.
They asked at the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. They asked Lorne Michaels, who, listen, no matter what you think of him, is a genius in casting. A genius for who he picked out of nowhere and created what they, I mean, it's amazing.
Yep.
So they asked him, they said, of all the hosts you've had, which one was the worst? And before they got the word worst out,
right,
he went Milton Berle.
Milton Berle. Yeah, that episode, for decades, he will not allow that episode.
And he said the second worst, because, what does he care now? Berle's dead,
Yeah.
He said the second worst was
Steven Seagal, maybe?
No.
Oh,
he said Seagal was such a waste of time.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he said he's a no talent guy, so it didn't.
Yeah.
No, it was what the hell's his name? Let me see. It wasn't Milton Berle, obviously. And it wasn't what's her name? Woody Allen's ex-wife.
What about the one that was on Mad Men? She played the Joel Hamm's wife, and she apparently
John Hamm's wife?
Yeah, on the show Mad Men. She was his blonde bombshell.
January.
January. Is it January Jones? Is that her name?
January Jones. Yeah.
Apparently, her episode.
Wait a minute! No.
Right. No.
That wasn't her.
Okay.
No. It was. She played his wife, but January. There was a woman who put. No, I'm thinking of the knockout redhead. You're right. I'm wrong.
Yeah. The tall statuesque.
I'm gonna cut that clip. I'm right.
Oh, this is what I wanted to tell you. When Berle did the show, when Berle did the show, they're rehearsing a scene.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, you guys probably know this. Out of nowhere, Lorne Michaels is up in the booth, and he goes, "Hey, Lorne," like that, and Bill Murray hated him and said, "That's not your line, Mr. Berle." Yeah. And Belushi, who idolized Berle, said, "You should just kiss his ass. He's a genius." He goes, "Bucking your teeth and sounding like you have a mental IQ of 9 is not being a genius." And then he did something else on the show. There was a scene where someone was supposed to break down and cry.
Yeah.
And Berle took the guy's head and pushed it towards his neck so you couldn't see him.
Yeah.
He hit his face. And Bill Murray said, "I can't believe Texaco kept you on the air for 6 years. And he said this to Berle. And Berle wanted to kill him. He said, "Unless during the commercial breaks you were pumping gas."
Ooh. Oh. Now, was Berle on at the same period of time when Sid Caesar was on the air back in the day?
Yeah. Yes.
Were they contemporaries?
Yes, I think Berle came a little later, but not much. Do you know who bumped Jackie Gleason off the air?
No, but Jackie maybe. I mean, I can't imagine.
Bishop Fulton Sheen. And they did a thing on Playhouse 90 where Gleason they showed Gleason getting kidnapped.
Wow.
It was
Milton, did you ever go to any of those comedy conventions that they put on at the Riviera?
I've never felt less like performing in my life.
Did you ever go? Did you ever go to them?
I sure did.
Were you at the one that Milton Berle was the keynote speaker?
No, I went to the one where Alan King was.
Oh, that was a good one too. I got a great story about that. He talks for a little bit, and then he says he just basically he doesn't really say anything other than, it's great to be here. Thanks all the hosts, and makes jokes about how bad his room is, and a couple of lines about when he played Vegas, stuff like that. And he goes, "Anybody have any questions?" So somebody asked him a question about first figures as comics. They're going to ask him about his schwantz, because he's got this. He's got this historically famous huge.
Yes, he's.
So anyway, so he goes on and probably talks for about 25 minutes about how his mom pimped him. His mom was like a showbiz mom. And she was like always, she was the one that would tell girls, he's got a pretty big schwanz. And so he's telling that he figures, he's with comics. We're like in the green room or something. And we're all backstage talking up and everything. And I said, at my table that I'm at, I'm trying to think of who was with me at the time. A reporter from the Detroit Free Press, the guy who Paul Krasner,
Yes,
for the LA Times. I'm trying to think who else was it. But anyway, and I said, "Is anybody recording this?" And we all used to have those little mini recorders, those GE or Sony recorders. Yeah. I said, "Is anybody recording this?" And everybody at my table just goes, they pulled their recorder out that they were recording the thing. That was
that's something else that cell phones put out of business.
Oh, the recorders, yeah.
But now, well, for instance, Andy, you've probably seen this. We get notices when we drive Uber. Passenger may record you. Passenger may be recording this, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's not like they're going to get in the car and I'm going to start insulting them or throwing racial epithets or I just want to pick them up, drop them off. But
is that right, Mr. Johnny Come Lately?
Oh yeah.
Going up to Southfield, huh? Hymietown. Yeah, I hear they got lots of. I hear they got the tribe up there. Hey, is it true you guys rule the world? I've heard you guys are in charge of all the money.
Did you ever see the movie with Nick Nolte? He played a crooked New York cop.
Yes, I know exactly the one you're talking about. Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
Yes.
One of the greatest lines I've ever heard in my life. Timothy Hutton was in it. Q&A. And there's a line in it where Lee Richardson, who played Angelica Houston's father in Prizzi's Honor.
Yes.
And Five Finkel comes up and he goes, "Gentlemen, how are you today?" And Lee Richardson goes, "Fuck off, Bernstein." and he says to Timothy Hutton, he says, "Francis Aloysius O'Reilly, this is Nathan Bernstein. When Jesse Jackson said Jaime, he meant him."
Man,
that line is so great. Oh my God. There were a lot of good people in that. Charles Dutton was in that. Luis Guzman was in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Paul
the director was a great director.
Yep.
And Sidney Lumet's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a Sidney Lumet directed it. It's really good.
Yes.
Well, hopefully she can act better than Francis Ford Coppola's daughter because
that's not fair.
Oh no, it's entirely fair.
No, it's not. She was thrown into that at the last minute.
Yes, she was.
She really was at the very last minute. And Winona Ryder, I love this. Why isn't she doing it? Exhaustion.
Well, they said
it's always exhaustion.
It's because she'd been doing blow with Johnny Depp
that's what she's exhausted from.
Yeah. And Johnny Depp is another Milton Berle candidate, if you know what I mean.
And in Coppola's defense, she was a much better filmmaker than she was an actress. The same as her father.
Really good.
Penny Marshall can. I mean, Penny Marshall's no great actress, but she could act and she could direct.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know the story about her and De Niro?
No, what they didn't like each other.
And De Niro,
no. They liked each other a lot. But when she directed Awakenings,
right,
which was a brilliant on her part.
Yeah.
With Robin Williams and
right.
Yeah.
And she's a worrywart.
Right.
And she says to De Niro, she was intimidated by De Niro, who did nothing to intimidate her.
Well, he's kind of a.
No, he's like, here's the script.
Yeah.
I know the table reading. Let's go. No, he would. And so she goes, I don't know. I just, whatever you want, and he goes, listen, Penny, please listen to me. You're my director. Whatever you tell me to do, I'll do.
Yeah.
Please don't make this a thing of, oh, here comes the 2-time Academy Award winner. That's not me. Please, please don't do that. However, if I don't get an espresso soon, I'll rip your fucking lungs out.
What old movies did you guys watch this week?
What?
What old movies did you guys watch this week? I've got all these adult children now that I watch. I take them back. I go, come on back.
Oh, well.
Movie with me, you know.
Here's my trivia question for the decade.
You take care of yourself.
You hear this guy talking?
Yeah, I
You
hear
piece of shit talking to him?
Yeah, I hear him.
Okay. If I punched him in the throat, I could end all my problems. I want him dead. You're giving him medicine? Is that what you're saying, miss?
Yeah.
Pour it down his fucking throat and then break his ankle.
Sam, you know what? I got to weigh in on that because I wanted Trump dead, but then when he got shot last summer, I felt bad. So
yeah.
Never feel bad if you listen.
Even though I think he faked it, I still feel bad.
Just remember this. Had it coming.
Well, if the Democrats hadn't hired their assassin off Timu, maybe they'd have had a better shot.
Timu!
There you go.
I know. I only caught 30 seconds of the 2 minutes hate before the show. So, you know.
Mother of mercy, is this the end of Rico?
Timu, I'm shooting like a billionaire.
Yeah, you know, the only 20-year-old with no social media posts and all kinds of interesting.
Who's Timu?
Timu it's
Chinese,
like eBay. Yeah, it's like Chinese eBay.
Chinese eBay.
Oh yeah.
And it's super sketchy.
Can anyone use it?
Sadly, yes.
I bought a pair of shoes I'm wearing right now off of Timu.
Well, I've got someone in the basement watching one of my movies that I bought off Timu.
Yeah, but that's not fair because they can get out of those handcuffs easily.
That's what I told them, but they don't want to try that hard.
You just have to push your fingers in and take your thumbs.
Guys, don't give it. He knows enough. He doesn't need any of your help. Okay. I mean, what can I say? I said, would you like to come downstairs, watch a movie? Can you tell me if this rag smells like ether? You know, I mean,
when I was a kid, we had Chinese handcuffs, we had Chinese checkers, and we had chow mein. That was it. That's all we had.
Well, I suggested that I'm the new spokesman for it puts the lotion in the basket skincare products. And
well, also there's that famous fortune cookie. Help, I'm locked up in a Chinese bakery.
Did you? I know you guys aren't online quite as much as I am, but they recently posted this one video of this 10-year-old girl. Again, she did the kind of shit that we did when we were younger. She was texting in her car that she's behind somebody and that she's being kidnapped. And the thing is, she is like an 11-year-old girl, so she's texting this. It's going to the police. And eventually, like a SWAT team pulls over the car with her in it. Everyone's dragged out. And they had to explain to her in very direct terms that what you're doing is a felony. And you could go to prison because mommy was looking down the business end of an AR-15. I can only imagine it's going to screw up Christmas. I don't know. Maybe they'll have forgotten about it by then. But
although I think they were mad at the kid because when the gun was aimed at her mother, she said to the cop, "No, you have to put your finger around the trigger."
The trigger, yeah.
Yeah.
God, my mother had such a way with the police. When they pulled her over and asked her why she was driving, because she was obviously drunk, she says, "Well, I'm too fucked up to walk." And
did you ever see that? Have you seen that thing on Facebook where they go, "Why are you stopped at a stop sign?" He goes, "I'm waiting for it to turn green."
Green, yeah, absolutely. My mother drove home from the bar so many times, and she got pulled over more than once, but it was the 70s. She's a nice middle-aged lady, housewife. These types don't go to jail. You know what I mean?
I went to a bar in DC, and the bartender, who I knew, served me 13 Bloody Marys.
Wow!
In one night?
Yes.
Wow.
And There's a
Is this
place
back
in
when you were?
DC
Is this
called.
back when you were 200 pounds, or?
Oh, I don't remember how much I weighed.
Because
No,
I'm gonna
no,
say
no. I wasn't that heavy at the time, and so I I drove over a highway called Whitehurst Freeway in DC, and it was famous because when you drove by it, there was this horrible, horrible smell, and it
Okay.
turned out to be a horse rendering plant.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, and so I drove over it, and I have no memory of driving,
Oh dear.
none. And I got home, and I had alcohol poisoning,
Oof.
and I couldn't raise my head. Oh, what else did I do? I had sex in the women's room.
Were you by yourself or was someone with you?
No, he was a keyboardist for Three Dog Night. And anyway, talk about fingering.
What a
Anyway,
great pull! What a great pull, Sam! What a great Sam! I love it, dude.
so I get home and I'm laying in bed, and I could not lift my head from the pillow.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend at the time said, "Are you feeling okay?" And I went, "I feel horrible." And she put her mouth right in my ear and went, "I'm glad."
Oh.
And I said, "You know what you just did in 11 states allows me to commit adultery." And she says, "I hope it's all 50, you fuck." And I said, "That's no way for a Jew to talk."
you always get the pretty ones. How does this work? How do you do this, Sam? I mean,
There's a price to pay.
I can imagine.
You know, that's like the old joke: the man who marries for money earns it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Woody Allen line about went to see a lawyer about a divorce. He says, "You got no grounds for divorce." He says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, this isn't a no-fault state. There has to be a reason for the divorce." And well, what are some of the reasons? Well, adultery. He goes, "Great." He says, "In New York, God says I can't commit adultery, but Rockefeller says I have to."
Oh, you know what I never told you guys? Do you remember Megan Marshak?
Yes, I do.
How do I know that name?
She was with
Rockefeller's
Rocky.
mistress.
Oh, that's okay.
She was the one who helped put his pants on after.
Yes. Wasn't she like a? Wasn't she dressed up in a costume or something like that when they?
Well,
it was in his office.
just remember that Saturday Night Live did a little promo commercial. Goes emergency this week with Megan Marshak, and they had a paste up of her and.
Oh, very funny.
Well, they did a thing on in a National Lampoon, which I missed desperately.
Yes.
And it shows Rockefeller banging her in a cartoon.
Yes.
And he's going like this while he's banging her. Hiya, 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 hiya.
But then again, he is a Rockefeller.
I miss National Lampoon. I miss Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
Do you remember? National? Not National. I think it was not where there's a Volkswagen.
Oh yes.
And they go, if Ted Kennedy had been driving a Volkswagen, he'd be president today because it floats.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, the curse, Andy, is "May you live in interesting times."
That's correct.
There we go.
Yes.
Thank you.
And by the way, a total segue here, probably going to take off, but I am told that elements of the Democrat base, the rank and file, want to dump Schumer and primary him with AOC. I'd love to hear you guys.
All right.
I'd love to hear you guys discuss it. No.
Because this has been discussed in our Democratic Club meeting. The idea is that the team that talked to Nancy Pelosi not to stay in the head of the caucus and the Democrats, and talked to Joe Biden, and Pelosi was one of those, should probably have him sit down with Chuck Schumer. That it's not that he's done anything wrong, and it's not that we wouldn't have had something here, but the thing is, you got to remember, politics wise, he didn't have to agree with the Republicans. Were they trying to avoid a filibuster? Was that it?
They were trying to avoid a shutdown on the continuing resolution, and he was threatening to stop it. And he said, "No, we're going to go along with it."
But the Republicans,
I think he's right.
the
Yeah, I think
Republicans
so
have
too.
the Republicans have a majority, right?
But you need 60 votes to get it through the Senate.
You need 60, and why do you need 60 votes to get
because
it?
Because of the filibuster.
Filibuster,
So,
exactly.
Yes.
And so, I don't think we would have filibustered that. We meaning Democrats, because then it looks like now you got to get up there and filibuster, and it looks like you're the one holding up the government.
Which is what Schumer, again, my point on this is that people who are thinking that AOC is the choice to replace Chuck Schumer, two things.
For nothing, for absolutely nothing.
You don't understand how difficult it is to try and run any kind of a majority or a minority in the Senate, because they all think they're God Almighty, A, and B, you'll end up in a car next to Mitch McConnell's ex-sister-in-law who drowned in her Tesla on her private property. You don't understand who you're messing with. Chuck Schumer, for all his little this and that and the other things, is an adroit New York politician who's had that position now for 25 years.
He beat the crap out of what's his name?
Yeah,
the Italian senator,
Alphonse D'Amato. Right,
killed him.
Yeah, yep. And you don't understand. You will leave with if you don't take his job, you'll leave with your intestines in a basket.
The Democrats have to step back and not get into this personality politics.
Stop being Don Quixote. Stop being Don Quixote.
That's what Carville has been saying. You guys should be listening to I hate Carville with a passion, but he's right. He's absolutely right. Play rope-a-dope. Let the Republicans punch themselves out. And when they make some big, dumb, stupid mistake, that's when you come swooping in with whatever it is you want to do, and you steal the momentum at that point.
And this is no reflection on the fact that they're Republicans. But they always do that.
Yeah.
They always overstep.
Republicans are idiots. Well, of course they are. It's what I'm well aware that I'm a member of the stupid party. Believe me, I can quote it better than you guys can.
I remember when they were saying to each other, should we be allowed to censor HBO? What? Hello? You know it's a subscription service, right?
Yes, but you guys also had what's her name, Al Gore's wife with her lyrics for the bad rock. Yeah,
Tippy.
I mean Tippy Gore.
Tipper.
Tipper Gore.
Tipper.
With and Dee Snider's out there and is full
I hate to the credit of the artists and their fans.
Yes,
it was that label that said offensive lyrics. They probably sold more records.
Yeah,
that's like it used to be when I was a kid. They used to say, "Is this any good? Is this book any good?" Well, it was banned in Boston. Remember banned in Boston?
Yeah, exactly.
Was the label.
You know who went crazy over this? When I say crazy, I mean I watched him on TV being interviewed by Bob Costas. Is that his name, Bob Costas?
Bob Costas.
Sportscaster.
Yeah, he's a sportscaster.
Yeah, I'm watching him being interviewed by Bob Costas when Costas had that interview show with the big comfy chairs.
Yes.
Michael Moriarty.
I could see that. He's wound a little tight, dude. Moriarty's wound really tight.
I'm watching him and I'm going, I'm frightened by how vehement he is about this. Because what happened was Janet Reno said, listen, if you want kids, and she happened to be right, if you want kids, she wasn't censoring anybody, but she said, if you want kids not to watch this stuff, put a thing on that says, this has suggestive lyrics.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You know, buy it. I don't care if you buy it. I don't care if your kids buy it. But now you know what the lay of the land is.
Right.
And he went berserk. It's the reason he lost his job on Law and Order.
Yeah. Dick Wolf eventually fired him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was all part of, in the sense that Law and Order becomes almost one of those shows where they could fire a character at any point in time after that.
Well, let me tell you the history of Law and Order, because I'm a devotee.
Yeah, well, as well you should be there.
Damn right, buddy.
Juror number 3.
Lady, you're in my seat. Anyway, but here's what happened. The first couple of years of the show, the entire cast was men.
Yeah.
And so Dick Wolf, who I think I think is a genius, said that you have to find a woman, you have to get a place for a woman on the show. Right. It's too testosterone driven. So they got rid of Richard Brooks, played Paul Robinette, and they brought in Jill Hennessy. Yep. And after a few years, she got her own show, so they killed her off.
Right.
And then I think they got Angie Harmon.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. And then she left. And then they had Carrie Lowell, who
Yeah.
was married to Richard Gere.
Right.
And then they had Elizabeth Rome, who
Yeah.
said to the director of the show I was on, "Would you ask him to stop staring?" Bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then she left, and it was Annie Parisi, who they killed off,
Yeah.
and who was born in Anchorage, Alaska. And after her, who the hell was after her? Huh. You know something? I don't. Who do they have after Annie Parisi? I can't
You
think of.
haven't mentioned any of the dudes. You're just talking about hot chicks, right? I mean, that's pretty much
Well, the men kind of stayed. Well, let me see. You had Anthony Anderson.
Yeah.
You had
Paul Sorvino for what, 2 years?
you had George Zazunda for 1 year.
Yeah.
He left because he wanted to go back to L.A. You
Yeah.
had Paul Sorvino for 2 years. He left because he wanted to sing opera.
Yeah. And Jerry Orbach for
12 years.
Yep.
He didn't leave until he found out he was dying.
Yep. And he basically worked till his dying day.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I mean,
And Jesse L. Martin.
Yep.
And one of my favorites was the cop from Chicago, Dennis Farina.
Yes, he was only on for a year, if memory serves.
2 years.
2 years? Okay.
He was great.
Died way too young. And
you know what he died of? He died of a pulmonary embolism.
Oh, I mean, his heart just exploded on him?
No,
like...
you get a blood. He had what I have.
Yeah,
you get a blood clot that goes up to your lungs.
Oh dear. I was thinking about
Dennis Farina. Gabe and I just saw Dennis Farina and Get Shorty.
Get Shorty. He's
that
great.
Was 2 weeks ago we watched that.
He's great in Midnight Run.
We watched French Connection, Run, a Gene Hackman kick now.
Oh my God.
I love that line in Midnight Run. Stanley, eat a sandwich, have a glass of milk, some fucking thing.
That's got Joey Pants. That's got Dennis Farina. That's got, of course, De Niro and Grodin in the best buddy. I mean, in years.
How about the scene in the bar where they're taking the $20 bill?
Yes. Or when Grodin doesn't want to fly, and then later on we find out he's a pilot.
Yes.
You know, I mean, Grodin again, just another one of these guys who just, I don't know whether he was method or not. I don't know, but I mean, he could just pull stuff off that was just amazing. I mean, after doing Heartbreak Kid, that right there, again, him and Eddie Albert at the end of the movie bidding over Eddie Albert's daughter.
Do you know what $20,000 feels like? You know what it smells like? and you know, as you're watching it, that they're going to get married, and he will eventually get bored.
Oh yeah. Oh, quickly. Yeah, I mean, he dumps his first wife on the honeymoon.
Do you remember who her mother was?
No.
Elaine May.
Well, I know Elaine May directed that movie as well.
Jenny Berlin.
Yep.
And the scene that every time I see it, because I'm pale skin, makes my whole body tense up, is when she's peeling her skin.
Yes. Because she's been out in the sun all day. And
oh God.
You see, I think that's a thing. That's a choice that someone like Elaine May makes. She knows exactly what could make this the worst possible. You're on your honeymoon. You've sunburned yourself to the point where your skin's falling off you. The cheesecake isn't there.
And Sybil Shepherd has never looked more beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And here's Sybil Shepherd. And Eddie Albert, he had the best, when he put his mind to, he did The Longest Yard as well. Psychopath, Dead Eyes.
You want to see a movie where he played a psychopath?
Really?
Combat.
Yes.
No, Attack.
Yeah.
With Jack Palance.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And Eddie Albert, again, another one of these guys, a decorated war hero. He was in the Navy, and one of the things that he did was he was running one of the boats that goes in and drops people off and pulls them back out. And he rescued a whole bunch of Marines who were stuck on some rocky little outcropping while they were being picked off, You know, and this guy,
The
like,
Higgins boat.
yeah, and he rode right into the teeth of gunfire
When I lived in DC,
repeatedly.
I'm sorry.
Go on, go on.
When I lived in DC, I worked at a restaurant called Herbs, and Herbs was a restaurant that kind of tipped its cap towards the artistic community.
Yeah.
Like they would have shows at night with Shirley Horn singing jazz. It was
Yeah.
great,
Yeah,
just great. And so, and I met Elizabeth. I waited on Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey,
and she says to me, "Sat." They were doing. She and Richard Burton were doing that. I forgot what the name of it is. Anyway, so she says to me, "Sam, do you think I drink too much?" And she was like hammered, like, "Oh my God." And I go, "No, ma'am." She goes, "Sam, don't bullshit me." And I go, "Well, you know, you're a grown woman. Sam, Elizabeth is getting angry."
No, this is in Washington, D.C. Was this when she was married to the senator?
She was with Burton at the time, but I think soon after.
All right.
Okay.
Well, she did Little Foxes with him.
Yeah.
With Burton.
Yeah.
So she goes, "I'll repeat myself. Do you think I drink too much?" And I go, "I think you should take Jack Daniels as a dependent." And she goes, "Oh, you're a funny little fucker." but she was, and I waited on Al Pacino,
Okay.
who was doing Cuba and the Teddy Bear.
Right.
And we kind of, you know, we not a friendship, but we got to know each other. And one of the things that was great about this gig was that you could leave for 3 weeks, do 3 weeks of comedy, come back, and there'd be gigs waiting for you.
Oh,
Yes.
nice.
So Al Pacino said, "You know, I'm doing this show, and I'd like to have you and your girlfriend come as my guest." And I go, I can't." What do you mean you can't?" "Well, I'm going on the road to do comedy." He goes, "Oh, I see. Just fuck Al Pacino." Huh?
Oh, fuck Al Pacino. Yes, go right ahead.
Listen,
I see something on the top of the fridge, and it's good. Okay, anyway, all right.
all right, I'm going to light up a Camel, and when I come back, you won't be here.
There you go. I know something's coming. Oh, yes, I know. Yes.
Hey, so I gotta know, did Elizabeth Taylor, were her eyes as blue in person as they were on screen?
They were violet.
Violet? Okay, but you know what I mean, though. I mean,
You couldn't stop staring at them.
There you go.
And that's with me being a jugs man. But I'm telling you.
Well, she had those too.
Yeah, she sure did.
Yeah, I mean, when she comes down and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, Nichols had said you should lose weight, and she goes, no, we should go the other route. I should put on 20 pounds, and she did. And
for that part, absolutely.
Yeah, for that part, and at one point when she gets into something more comfortable, and Burton goes, "Martha, you've changed into your chapel dress."
You know, I wanted her to get into something more comfortable, but it was me.
Well, what's his name? But George Segal, who again, well cast. People forget that George Segal, with a good director, is a good actor. You know, he needs a little help sometimes. I mean, Fun
King Rat.
Yep.
King Rat was great. Yeah.
You know,
excellent show.
You know,
folks
Fun
are
with
running
Dick
out
and
of
Jane,
time.
Not so
we
much.
sure have.
Wow.
All right. Well, I'll wait for you guys.
That's what the ever increasing volume on the music.
I've been asking my musical friend to see if we can get an outro theme. He's giving it some consideration. So
okay,
we can get an.
Anyway, this is the off night for every Monday night at 8:00 Eastern time. At 5 o'clock, you folks out the
This is a good show tonight.
Yeah,
it was a good show. Enjoyed it. We didn't talk about what happened in comedy. I did talk to the Sam about it. Lenny Schultz died.
Yeah.
He died?
Yes. That's why I had the
of what, embarrassment?
No, he's 91 years old. He died of old age.
I saw it said Lenny. You know, it said Lenny Schultz R.I.P. But then it didn't go any further.
Yeah.
I guess people read the petition.
Anyway, we're here every Monday night at 8 o'clock. Go ahead and join us. Tell your friends. That right there on the screen right now is how you subscribe, and you get notified whenever we go on the air. And Even though we go live on Monday nights, the rest of the week we're on tape delay on YouTube. So join us. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, kids. Have fun.
Easy now.